Welcome back everybody, Jared here, and today we have another special episode just for you, especially to all of us Sony shooters out there. But firstly, I would like to ask everybody, how are you doing at home? Because yeah, as you can see, my hair is growing a bit too long and I can't wait to get a haircut when the Singapore government finally loosens the circuit breaker laws. And yes, hope you're doing fine as well, spending quality time with your family and yourself. And let's all hope that this situation quickly comes to an end so that we can finally go out and go back to doing what we enjoy most. I know, all of us Sony Alpha shooters alike, we are all pretty disappointed and frustrated that Sony did not tell us anything about their A7S3 nor the A7 IV on the 30th of April, despite Canon having a great start to the year with the release of their 1DX Mark III and the announcement of their crazily overpowered EOS R5. And as a Sony shooter myself, I'm also sitting here wondering like, what the hell, Sony, we bought all your gear, all your lenses, because 2 years back when you released the cameras, they were out of this world for video especially. Like, it was nothing any other camera company could produce, and your innovation was in big steps. But then now everyone else has caught up. Panasonic, Canon, Nikon, Fuji, everybody has caught up, and you cannot even give us 4K 60p in 10-bit 422. But put that disappointment aside just for one moment, because recently Sony Alpha Rumours has just dropped a few rumours on what they received. Whether reliable or not, I don't know, we don't know, but it seems promising, so let's check it out. Are you ready? Let's go! So let's start with some old news first. This one was released right before the Sony announcement on the 30th of April. All these rumor pages I'll link in the description box below, and you can check them out on your own. Okay, so first things first, full Sony A7S II successor specs will be unveiled in late June and camera available in late summer. One trusted source shared some info about the A7S II release timing. So it'll be unveiled in late June to be on the market in late summer, provided COVID-19 doesn't cause any more problems. And they say he has a good track, but yeah, like all rumors are, we can't be 100% sure whether it will be true or not, so don't be too disappointed if it's not true anyway. Okay, I'm not so sure if they will call it the A7S3 because Sony Alpha Rumours recently hasn't been using the term A7S3 as much as A7S II successor. So what will Sony call it? So yes, not much specs here, but well, at least we know we have or might have to wait until late June before Sony says anything else about their A7 full-frame cameras. So next one we have here is published on the 5th of May. Rumour, Sony will launch new full-frame gear, camera plus lens in late June. Okay, we know that already. I think it's just a confirmation lah. At last in June we will finally get at least one new full-frame camera, okay, and one new full-frame lens, okay. But I mean, most of us will expect the A7S3 and the 12 to 24 f2.8 G Master, because yeah, it's been some time, and the 12 to 24 2.8 G Master has also been rumored for some time as well, and was probably slowed down because of COVID-19. And they say there will be a surprise. I mean, what kind of surprise can Sony give now? It's anyone's guess. What, 8K, a new, what, a second new camera, what, 8K slow-mo, or what? So yeah, in the surprise section, I've been told that there's something more than this. Stay tuned. Yes, okay, we'll wait, like always. I mean, most of the hype is on the A7S III, but well, you can agree the A7 IV will be as much as an exciting camera as well. Yeah, I know everyone is excited about the A7S III, but realistically, when it comes out, I don't think everyone would just go for that camera just for video, because there will be just certain things that people won't need, and this makes the release of the A7 IV pretty exciting as well, because Sony has done such a good job with the A7 III, and no most people will be looking forward to what the new A7 IV can do as the affordable full-frame jack of all trades camera. So this is the rumor that caught my eye the most. It was published on 7th of May, and it says roundup of rumors from super wild or crazy sources. But well, at this point in time, we'll probably believe whatever we can get. So assuming that it's true, so if we scroll all the way down to source 6, it says A7 IV prototypes are already in the hands of a few select testers all the way back in the beginning of the year. Well, okay, because the Sony A7 III's second birthday, or its birthday, is in March. So they should already have testing units out at the start of the year. Okay, that makes sense. I've also said it in a previous video that they already have the A7 IV bodies lying somewhere for people to test. But the next part it says, but it was a very significant update, as it was basically the same as the A7R IV with a lower resolution, no real video upgrades. Meaning what? 4K maxed out at 30p, hopefully this time no crop unlike the A7 III, 6K readout, 1080p up to 120 frames per second in full frame, all at 8-bit 420 and 422 externally. I mean, my first reaction to that was like, Sony's just gonna let us down again with no upgrades to their once almighty A7 III. Like, Canon's gonna beat them with the EOS R6. But it goes on. We would have already had the announcement, but Sony recalled them in February and has gone back to development as they realized the camera needs a much higher video specification. Well, thank you Sony, good that you know that your video capabilities are shit compared to the rest of the camera companies now. Okay, the next part is the most exciting part, but it has one of the worst English I've ever seen. They will now be releasing the A7 IV this year, and it will have 4K 60 in 10-bit and will have ProRes RAW the HDMI. I mean, like I said earlier, we'll believe whatever we can get. 4K 60p in 10-bit, hopefully full frame and not cropped, because then, well, that just spoils the name for Sony. Because the A7 III had the same specs or similar video specs to the A7S II. So unless you're telling me the A7S III is gonna have 4K 60p only, the A7 IV should have 4K 60p. Like, it does need an upgrade from the A7 III. ProRes RAW, it will be good to have, yes, for the people who can pay for it and who have the storage for RAW. And I've mentioned it in my A7 IV hopes and expectations video that it'll be a good inclusion to have. So yeah, if they have it, then good for you Sony. Then the last part, but there will be another announcement later of another high-end A7 body that will offer 8K ProRes RAW, 4K 120 internal and use CF Express. But I just debunked everything I've said in my previous video that Sony shouldn't use the A7 line to catch up with or to match the specs of high-end cameras. Like, what? So they are now trying to what? Fight Canon with 8K ProRes RAW and 4K 120p internal. Like, I mean, okay, sure, but CF Express for the A7 line, like, I mean, if it's dual CF Express card slots, wow, okay. But from what I'm reading, because the A7S3 had or was rumored to have a 15.3 megapixel sensor, quad layer sensor, yeah, and that won't do 8K. And there are some rumors and some footages released that it will do 6K 60 and 4K 120p. Yeah, sure, but if they are not going to change the sensor in the A7S3, I believe that this high-end A7 body that can do 8K ProRes RAW and 4K 120p internal, and added on the fact that it needs 2 CF Express cards, is probably the A7R5. I mean, firstly, yes, you need a high megapixel sensor to even do 8K, because it won't make sense for Sony to drop the A7S3 with a high megapixel sensor, because then it will just fight with the A7R series of cameras. Like, well, I don't know what people want to do nowadays. It's just so confusing. They're just... But yeah, CF Express card slots can be meant for one camera, definitely not the A7 IV, because the A7 line is meant for, it's like I said, a jack of all trades, affordable line of cameras. And if you're gonna put CF cards in, and CF cards are quite expensive for basic stills and videography, 2 UHS 2 card slots are enough. A7S3, 2 UHS 2 card slots are enough because it's video. And on top of that, people have been complaining this whole while that A7R4 crazy camera, 10 frames per second in 61 megapixels, but 2 UHS 2 card slots just aren't fast enough to clear that buffer. So if the A7R5 is going to have a high resolution sensor above 60 megapixels and it's going to shoot at 10 frames per second or more, it's going to need a better buffer. And CF Express has always proven, like on the 1DX series and whatever other camera that use CF Express, that the files write extremely quickly, and which is a good thing. So this will draw more professionals to actually buy the A7R5. And so yeah, in short, I think, yeah, Sony is just gonna play catch up now with that 8K RAW and 4K 120p internal. And that's it for today on my analysis of the recently published rumors on Sony Alpha rumor page. If you would like to check them out yourself, I will leave the links in the description box below. And once again, leave a like, subscribe and comment down below what you think these rumors means for Sony, you and me, and any other topics you would like me to discuss in a future video. And see you soon!